Good evening. Order at 6 p.m. and welcome everybody. For the audience here tonight, my name is David Gerber and I am the chair and serve as the presiding officer over the Community Service Commission meeting. In consideration of others and the business conducted tonight, please silence your phones and any electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. If you are in attendance and wish to speak during public comment, speaker cards are located in the lobby area at the rear of the chamber. Please fill out a card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of the public comment. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here this evening. At this time, we'll take roll call. And in attendance is Commissioner Louis Porcher, Commissioner Eddie Koyunjian, Commissioner Steve Sally, and Vice Chair Mike Kotowski, and myself, David Gerber, as chair. Moving on, we will all rise and go into the Pledge of Allegiance. And Steve, would you care to lead us?
Sure. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. At this time, we'll move on to reordering and the additions of the agenda. Does anyone on the panel wish to reorder or add to the agenda? Okay. There's no reordering. We'll move on to public comment. We'll open public comment period. I invite members of the public to address the legislative body. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking both on and off agenda items. If you are in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of the public comment period. Once recognized, speakers should advance to the podium, state your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss. Invite speakers. Are there any public comment cards?
I have received none. Nobody?
Okay. Since there are no public comment cards, then we will close public comment. At this time, we'll move on to member statements and reports. So I'd like to start, Steve, if you'd like to provide your report.
Sure. Thank you. The Sports Council met last week. Let's see, soccer is off to they're in registration period right now, but they got over 700 players in their first 10 days of registration, which is a huge number. They usually wind up around 1,300 with most of the registrations coming late. So we'll see what's in store for them, but they are rolling along just fine so far. Football's also in their registration period. Registration is open for them. All the baseball leagues have started, baseball, softball leagues. Thank you to all the leagues for inviting us to the opening day. We had glorious weather. Great day. And congratulations and thank you to all those that helped get the fields in order, because I thought all the fields looked great for their seasons to begin. The basketball league is done. They finished their league. They're in their in-house tournament. All-Stars actually started last night, right? Do we know how the first round went? We don't have an update. Okay, well, I'll have to get that back to you on that. And then just to close one thing from our last meeting, there were some questions about the football league and possibly having girls flag football, offering that. That is something that the conference would decide on, not just the Glendora division. And right now, the conference is looking at maybe a springtime league for middle school-aged girls. It sounds like it's still in the planning, so I doubt it would be for this year. But down the line, that's what they're leaning toward. Of course, fields and things like that would be a roadblock, but anyway, that's what the conference is discussing at this time. So anyway, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you. And echo what Steve said. The opening day ceremonies and the opening night at Lassie League were awesome to attend and see everybody out to kick off baseball and softball season. It might have been a month ago now. I sat down with Annie and the transportation team. We had a really good talk about kind of what they're working on. Working on an RFP for our consultants, wrapping the buses, which may be done or maybe in the works still. And also just tracking kind of the ridership numbers and how we're trying to get back up to the 2019 ridership before COVID. And that's kind of the goal that was discussed there. Looking forward, March 22nd, there's a trip to Little Tokyo with the transportation team going down on the A line for the day. And then just one thing looking ahead to summer. T4G was here in AYS, the Young Scholars. Were here, it was probably 3 or 4 months ago now. But going into summer, if they are still providing services and trying to get volunteer hours, summer tutoring for some of our students and some of our, to try to curb learning loss might be an opportunity for them. So I don't know if they have plans to come back before summer, but that was just something that kind of popped up as I was going through the calendar of summer. So if they're available and T4G wants to facilitate that, it'd be great to see what's available. But that's all I think it was AYS. So I think the group's name was AYS. Amazing.
Oh,
Young-
you're talking about the combined groups.
Yeah.
But you're saying tutor who, or you're just saying.
Students in the community, if they're looking, because I know during the school year, they talked about being able to work with students. But one thing that would be really helpful, I think, for parents in the community is if there's a resource just to curb some of that learning loss, if it's available. Just an idea that kind of came up again as we look at the summer. But and that's kind of all I have in the busy time of year. But they're all busy time of year, I guess. So.
Thank you very much. Eddie?
Yes, good evening. Again, yes, I echo as well. It was great being out there, seeing all the shiny little faces and excited when brand new uniforms and nice and clean. Not for long, but it was nice to see it. I'll be reporting from the Trails Council. We had a meeting last month, February 23rd. There were lots of discussion topics. And majority of the topics, discussion was around Trails Day planning and scheduling around Trails Day, which is April 11th. And this one will be at the South Hills Wilderness area. And then we're looking for volunteers. Please get the word out to any groups and organizations that want to come out, get hours, like you had mentioned, Mike. And then from there, we moved on to Earth Day planning discussions, and Earth Day is going to be Saturday, April 18th at Finkbeiner Park. And then further discussions, we got a report from Park Supervisor Matt. And then also the upcoming hikes are announced. Actually, the summer hikes are announced, but so we have the hike scheduled up until August. So March 28th will be the hike will be at South Hills. April 25th would be at Little Dalton. And then the first summer hike will be on Tuesday, June 9th. And that'll be, the first one will be at South Hills. The second summer hike will be July 7th, and that'll be at Little Dalton. And the third summer hike, the last one for the year, will be July 25th at South Hills. And then also finishing out the season will be, August 11th will be Big Dalton Canyon, and then August 29th will be Little Dalton Canyon. And so lots of movement in the council, and lots of, a lot of people are attending, and it keeps growing, and it's great to see. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Eddie. Brittany?
Yes, thank you. So in terms of T4G, their meetings, I have not been able to get to. I will double check to see when those meetings will take place. But as far as the last time that I did connect with them, I did partner with Goddard to help connect them, because I know that was one of the schools that they were hoping to get involved deeper with. And I did bring it to our commission meeting, or not commission meeting, excuse me, our council, our school site council meeting there. And so they were very interested and eager to forge that partnership with them. I have to follow up with them to see if that's exactly what they did. But Goddard is aware of that desire to support there. And I will also take that back, that summer support, that's a great idea for them. And it was AY, something to that.
I think it was AYS.
Yeah, it was a common name that we're just not coming to mind right now. But so just as a reminder, T4G is for 6th through 12th grade. The last time we did meet in the Teen Center, they were really trying to boost up participation in the students. And so the students that came to the meeting, which there was a great number in that room, they had some wonderful ideas about some glow parties and dreaming big on how to just encourage their fellow peers to get on down and to participate and to be a part of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of that. But I know that school was kind of taking precedent for them and their focus. And as far as students go, I know possibly Director Annie will talk about it, but the March 30th through April 3rd is Dirt Camp. And I know that a lot of the Teen Center, T4G leaders are often helping out, at least in some way. So I'm very glad to see that happening. And I think that's all that I have. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And for myself, on the homelessness, at our last meeting, I think right thereafter, we had our the count that the city and as well as the county and all of LA did in the evening time, and had the pleasure of spending 3 hours, I think it was, in the car with Steve, and we drove a good portion of the area of Glendora that I had no idea. There were alleys and homes and locations, and so, yeah, very interesting event to participate in. And we came across a couple of different options that we identified. I would have presumed that they were already identified in the past, but again, it was something that we were able to determine ourselves. I have not had an opportunity to speak with Debbie since then to see what the final count was, but I would presume that that would be something we would be hearing about fairly soon. And I will get back with her this coming month to see when their next presentation will be, because they were at the last one.
So the county has not finalized the numbers, and the reports will be set out as soon as they are finalized.
Okay, yeah, I figured it would take a little bit of time to get accomplished, so. And that's it in regards to the homeless at this point as a check-in.
I just want to add to that, on that particular day, driving down Glendora Avenue, I spotted our very own out there speaking, doing the actual count, but also just loving on our immediate homeless population that was stationed by the bus stop. And Debbie was there, the van was there, and I just thought, wow, look at the work happening right now. It was so touching. She doesn't know that I saw her, but I could see her engaging with that unhoused person and how compassionate she was. She was there with our other gentleman that always goes as well. And it was nice. It just warmed my heart. So I can't wait to tell her that I saw it.
Yeah, well, the city does an amazing job when it comes to how we handle and facilitate and work with what we perceive as to be those that are homeless in our community. They're not just left to the wayside. We want to reach out and help, and those that are willing to accept our help, they get it. Not often is that the case. So, okay, and then at this time, I'd like to invite Interim Recreation and Human Services Director Annie Warder to present in regards to the Director and Staff Liaison statements.
Perfect. I have quite a few things this evening. Since our last meeting, good evening, Commissioners. Since we last met, the skate park project has been completed. It reopened on February 2nd with a new skate element they were able to add on the east side of the park. New signage, and the perimeter gate was repaired. Brittany had mentioned the spring break dirt camp. It is full, and it will be running March 30th to April 3rd up at Big Dalton Canyon. Our Easter egg hunts will take place at both Gladstone and Finkbeiner Park on Saturday, April 4th. Activities begin at 9 a.m., and the hunt starts promptly at 10 a.m. Our summer activity guide will be delivered to the post office on April 17th. Some residents might receive it the following day, but most people will receive it the week of April 20th. Something new this year, Dirt Camp registration will be held in person on Saturday, April 25th. We will be sending out a save the date to all of our ActiveNet users. It will be on April 25th at 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Teen Center. It will be for Glendora residents only, proof of residency and grade. You must be an incoming second grader and sixth grader through sixth grade. And CIT applications for those in 9th through 12th grade, they will also begin accepting. If you are a non-resident, you can begin registering May 5th. After April 25th, if you still need to register and there's open spots, you can go and register at the Teen Center Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And registration will be similar to how basketball was done, in person, checking both residency and grade. We're also very excited to introduce a new program, Dirt Camp After Hours, CIT Readiness. This will be specifically for 7th and 8th graders, where in the past they were eligible to be CITs, and we've identified that this would be a better program for them. It will be 3 separate weeks throughout the summer, $75, I believe, and they will gain skills to be a future CIT and also get to enjoy some of the Dirt Camp, favorite activities that are more age appropriate for 7th and 8th graders. Also mentioned were the 3 new minibuses. They have been wrapped, and our transportation staff will be having training next week to learn how to drive them. Apparently, they have some special things that they need to learn before they hit the road, but you will be seeing them shortly. Also, some updates on our projects that we have lined up. The Gladstone picnic area and shade structure. The tables have been delivered. We have engineering that needed to be updated to structurally make the shade structure more sound. We're still waiting on a site plan and soils report, but that project is moving forward. The South Hills Bike Park, we've partnered with Onward Engineering to finalize construction-ready plans to meet city standards. The expected completion for that is in September. Then our senior management analyst, Kelsey Fay, will secure funding through the grant that we already were awarded, finish completing CEQA, and prepare the release for the RFP. So we are looking at the earliest we would have shovels in the ground May 2027, and the project would be expected to take 9 months. The Finkbeiner Park pickleball courts, our classes have been such a success at Finkbeiner. We have been taping the adjacent tennis courts for the last year, and staff has identified it's in the best interest to have place permanent pickleball court lines, so that should be happening in the next month or so. And then when our classes are in session, we will wheel out portable pickleball nets. So it's still a tennis court, but when needed, it can also be pickleball courts. So that's exciting. Also, great news, and you might have heard, we did receive a $1.2 million grant fund from Congressman Cisneros' office for Sandburg Track in partnership with Glendora Unified School District. They did have another round of funding that came through, and our senior management analyst, Faye, was able to submit 2 applications through Judy Chu's office for Big Dalton Canyon restrooms, as well as Goddard Track, and then submitted another 2 through Congressman Cisneros' office, additional funding for the Sandburg Track, as well as pickleball courts for Gladstone Park. So we submitted 4 additional applications in the last 3 weeks, so we'll wait to hear if any of those are awarded, but we are very excited about the $1.2 million we did receive. The Finkbeiner Park Stormwater Drain Project, the earliest start date is now June of 2027. Originally, we had anticipated early spring, but this updated timeline will actually now allow GHS Softball, Little League, and our Glendora Lassie League to use the fields for the full spring 2027 season, so that's a positive for them. And then I'd also like to introduce and have come up one of our newest recreation staff members. Her name is Emily Baraja. She is our new dance instructor, one of 2. Some of you who've been around for a while are familiar that we used to have a really popular program called Glendora Dancers with Miss Paula. And since her retirement, we were then contracting out and had numerous different dance companies that we contracted out. and decided that after about 15 years, it was best to bring back in-house dance instructors. And so the program has just kicked off. It's doing really well, so it's nice to hear the pitter-patter and tip and tap and all that kind of stuff at the Legion Building's dance room. And so I'd like to have Emily come on up and introduce herself.
Hello, good evening, commissioners and chair, vice chair. My name is Emily Bardeja. I am one of 2 of the new dance instructors for the youth dance program. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes of your time to explain kind of sort of the beginning strides that we've been making with this reinstated dance program. I know that we've haven't had the in-house dance program for many, many years, and so we're really excited to have it back. Since January, there's another dance instructor, Hannah Cassio, who's not here today because she is teaching at the dance lessons at American Legion Building currently. We've been providing different genres for students. So currently we offer jazz dance, ballet, tap, musical theater, hip hop dance styles. And from January till now, we've been preparing the students with their basic technical skills, kind of giving them the basis, as most of them are beginner dancers. And it's really exciting to see their growth already. We are preparing and directing our very first end of session recital that will take place May 16th at the Finkbeiner Park Bandshell stage. The students are so ecstatic about it, and we're really excited to teach them showmanship and the preparation and everything it takes to really prepare for a show, you know? So they're retaining their choreography, they're learning dances, timing, thinking about all the things that it takes to really hone in and prepare yourself for something like this. We have had so much support from their parents, many volunteers that have been willing to come in and help us out a day of show to watch the kiddos backstage. And in addition to that, after our May 16th recital, we will begin our summer session. So that will take place June 1st, and we're going to introduce 2 more dance styles. Lyrical, which is a more smooth, more rhythmic take of jazz dance. So think of incorporating ballet technique into more of current day pop music. So that's something the kids really like to dance a little more slower paced. And we're also going to be introducing rhythmic tap, which is taking those tap basics that they've been incorporating and using them as more of a creative and taking it more to the musicality side of the tap dancing. So that's just a little bit of the information I wanted to share with you all. We're really excited. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. That's a lot.
In regards to the Sandberg funding for the track, would that be turf track, or would it be the dirt, or would it be?
Everything is on the option
Okay.
at this point, really depending on funding. 1.2 wouldn't cover a complete
Yeah,
project.
right.
So would it be a turf track, grass infield? Are lights possible? Are they not possible? How big of a track can you fit? We've heard that the track that there is there right now is not a regulation track size. So we have staff working with Ono Construction and Field Turf, who completed work at Louis Pompey Sports Park, to kind of draw up some schematics for us and kind of look at the site and see what's possible.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to our special items. Tonight, we will start with our special item number 1. We have the Glendora Lassie League update. I'd like to invite League President Tim Valdez to join us.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Good.
The AC is very nice in here. Honestly, it's been very hot tonight. Wait, can I just, okay, all right. So before I go into, the league as a whole, I do want to report that we had our opening day last Friday that, you had alluded to earlier in the meeting. And I think it was a, incredible success. I think I've been a part of the league for about 4 years, and seeing the amount of people there, as well as the vendors, both, for the swag that the girls can shop and get their sunglasses and all that, as well as food vendors. I think everybody was incredibly happy and got a lot of positive feedback. So we're really happy about that. And other than myself, obviously it takes a village. I can't do this myself. I'm just the steward of the league. So we have an incredible executive board. Most are new members in these positions. So my vice president is Navardo Salazar. He's been with the league for quite a few years. He has a couple daughters that have been in the league for many years. Our treasurer is Hampton Clark. Again, same thing. His daughter Izzy's been in the league for multiple years. Secretary Megan Deanda, all these Glendora residents been a part of the league and part of the community for many years. My registrar Joe Kozel, essentially our league administrator. He's in charge of making sure that the background checks are clear, our safe sport certification for USA softball is clear, as well as our live scans, and he's been doing an incredible job. And then our parliamentarian Tom Lundy, who essentially is the godfather of the rules for our league. So anytime that we have a question about the rules, we go to Tom. So he is an incredible resource. And then just in terms of what our purpose of the league is, or what we're trying to do here, our league is sponsored by the Recreation and Human Services Department, and it's essentially a service that we want to provide to all the girls and young ladies in our city. It's an incredible program. I know one that's been here for decades at this point. Annie, I believe you had mentioned that yourself, that you played in the league, along a few years back. So, and it's been established a year to provide an avenue for healthy activity and training under responsible leadership in the atmosphere of wholesome community participation. And then again, it's all about fun. Not to toot our horn, but we are also very competitive. But at the end of the day, it's all about from the very top to the very bottom in terms of skill set. We treat the girls with the utmost respect. We want to make sure that they're all enjoying their time and they want to come back for years upon years to come. So, and then just to give some perspective on how the last couple of seasons have gone, for our fall ball season that we rolled out in fall of 2024, we had a total of 264 players. So that between all the division, and that was across all divisions from 6U all the way up through 14U, 22 teams. And the way that it breaks down per team, it's like roughly 11 or 12 girls per team. And then for our select program across all the divisions except for 6U, since we don't have a 6U, there's no 6U select for softball, about 12 players per team as well. Fall ball's become a pretty hot commodity just because a lot of leagues in surrounding cities don't necessarily offer a fall program like we do. So between all the divisions, we had 86 total players wanting to get in. That some we were able to accommodate, but others we weren't able to, but we tried our best, given the limited field space that we have during the fall season, since we have to share with soccer and football, obviously. And based upon that, the ratio for Glendora residents, it was approximately around 62%, which was actually better than the fall season. I can't remember what the number was off the top of my head, but it was definitely less than that, just because this past year we had instituted a new provision in our league where if it's very similar to how basketball runs it, where Glendora residents get first priority upon registration. And I believe we leave about a 2 to 3 week period, give or take. And then also the other provision is if you happen to not be a Glendora resident, but you've been a part of the league for multiple seasons, you also get priority to register. So then that way, they're able to register too. And it's actually been very helpful getting, the percentage up there for Glendora residents. So, and then for the spring season, we have a total of 471 players across 40 teams among all divisions. And then again, the ratios add up to about the same, 11 or 12 players per rec team. And then for select, it's about 12 per each team. The waiting list was, we were able to accommodate everybody except for, well, not except, but 8U did have a waiting list about 24 to 25 players, but we were able to accommodate all of them, so we were really excited about that. So, and for the spring season, this is a trend that usually occurs in the couple years that I've had access to the numbers at least. The number for Glendora residents actually shot up to like right around 70%. So really happy about that. And then for All-Stars, our All-Star season will start in May through July, and then we'll have, across all divisions, we'll have 9 teams. So we're very excited about that. And then for our budget overview, in terms of revenue, it's very generalized, but for registration, we charged about $275 for Glendora residents, and then we charged a $25 non-Glendora resident fee. So for non-residents, it was $300. And then the snack bar, we estimate that we're going to generate roughly around $20,000 worth of revenue, which of course will go put back right into the league, to improve, the cages and, other things of that nature. And then in terms of key expenditures, again, rough estimates, always subject to change, but the ballpark for umpires, we expect to spend around $22,000. Jerseys, $25,000. Awards, the girls love their rings, right? They love their rings. And the medals too, of course. The medals are fun. About $5,000, and then lights, approximately $15,000. So, and we, over the last couple years, we have had in-house tournaments that we're going to continue doing over this year. So we're going to have our Pride of the Foothills tournament, which is an all-star tournament from May 29th through May 31st, as well as, and I believe this is going to be our 3rd annual Pride of the Foothills tournament. And then from December 5th through 7th, this will be for our fall season, the fall select season. We'll have our Santa's Little Helper tournament, which I believe will be our 2nd annual tournament. So very excited for both of those. And then one program that we have had over the last few seasons is our Adopt a Cougar program through APU. It's their softball team essentially giving back to our girls, anywhere from, hosting practices to having the girls come out to the APU fields and participate at practice on their home fields, to getting a tour of the facilities, to, essentially, and also coming to their games, to support the girls and everything. It's an incredible program, and Navarro, who I mentioned, our vice president, he has a very close relationship with Coach Carey, who's the head softball coach at APU. It's incredible. The girls love it. We're going to continue to do it as long as we can. Essentially, it's an incredible program, and the girls love it. So parents too. And then another very special program that we do have is our Victory League. Rich Harper founded this program in 2018. It's a league at no cost to the players. Equipment and uniforms are covered by the league and donations. Girls with special needs, they might not be able to play in our, regular rec league. So we offer this program at no cost whatsoever. And we have also our Victory Sisters, which are girls within our league starting at our 10U division. They're able to come out to the practices and, help, throughout the practices. And then we'll have games on a weekly basis where they'll play one of our 12U teams. So in addition to the girls from that team, helping out and participating in the game, we also have our Victory Sisters, which are, like I said, girls from our rec league who also help. And, it's a fantastic time. It's a fantastic time. And then between there's roughly 23 players across 2 teams. And then again, these are rough numbers. I think we have more than this, but there's like about 50 Victory Sisters. So more than enough to go around to help the girls out. So, and that's all I have for everybody. Does anybody have any questions or anything like that?
I was just going to say the opening day was beautiful. It was very nice. And so you answered my question because there were a lot of people out there, a lot of teams.
Yes.
Now we know 40. I was like, oh, yay.
And I gave her a special shout out at opening day, and I want to do it again here. Sarah Peckham, I don't know, for those in the room that know her, she's been in the community for a very long time. She helped organize the majority of it. She was incredible. She did an awesome job. So
It was a beautiful event.
Thank you.
Well turned out, well attended.
thank you.
Anything?
Yeah. Districts, you think you guys will host that again?
Still in the early stages. Ralph Rivera, who's our district commissioner for the Northern District, had expressed that Christy Allen, who's essentially his boss, is interested. I think we had talked a little bit about that, Annie, and I don't know if they've reached out to you since then. So that's kind of in the works right now. TBD.
Yeah. The jerseys, you went from like a college theme to like a more professional, baseball league. Can you kind of talk about that transition and how that came about?
So we had we had a new coordinator for our jerseys, and the college theme was very popular. However, we had multiple people expressed to try something different, right? So Lily, who's our jersey coordinator, brought some exemplars of the more MLB professional team jerseys, and people liked them quite a bit. So, and the colors and the offerings that we had in terms of the designs, they look pretty cool to me. I mean, and everyone, and that's, some people don't like the change. Some people are like, well, why didn't we stay with the same jerseys? It's hard to make the transition, but I think the most important opinion is the girls, and the girls said that they love them. So
Excellent. Oh, I like some of them look a lot, some of them are really good.
yeah,
Some of them are really good. So, no, I thought it was nice. I like it. And
Yes,
then,
thank you.
lastly, have you hit your cap?
In terms of
Can
our,
you accommodate any more teams? I mean, you're growing. Have we hit to the spot yet where, due to fields, volunteers, whatever the limiting factor is, we're done?
so that's a really good question. Last year for spring, we had around 506. So we actually had, I would say, like roughly 30 to 35 less than we did last year. And we were able to accommodate those teams. I would say we probably could, but I think this is kind of the sweet spot just because we're not struggling for field space. The games, because basketball went a week longer, we had to start our season. We lost a week essentially, so we had to squeeze some games in. So if we had 506, that may have been more difficult to do. So I think maybe between 40 to 42 teams, I think we're right at our sweet spot. Give or take like 25 to 30, either way. So
All right, cool. All right, I'm just wondering so you didn't really have to turn anyone away
no.
this year. That's great.
Yeah, and again,
That's
the
outstanding.
the only girls that we had on a waiting list was for our 8U division, which is again about 25, 26. Our original plan was to have 10 teams. We just created 2 more teams. And in that division, it's very easy to find motivated managers and parents to step up and try to manage a team. So, yeah.
Great. All right. Oh, thanks for all you do. Great league.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you guys for your support.
Just had one little note. Is the ring, is that a thing now? Are all the rings, the awards?
It
When did that-
absolutely is. We actually had medals for our fall season, and the number one, I don't want to say criticism, but I'll say constructive feedback was, where are the rings at?
Yeah.
Where are the rings? And it's only, fall is typically not as intense as the spring season, but ring culture.
Yeah.
People love the ring
And I guess
culture nowadays.
price-wise, it equals out, or awards versus?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's maybe it's symbolically,
Yeah.
it's more.
It's
yeah.
great. Yeah, they're living large.
So for our spring season and future fall seasons, I think we'll be making the transition back to full-time rings. So 'cause the cost is actually not too much more.
that's what
it's
I
not
figured.
prohibitive or anything
Yeah.
like that. So
Is that what the All-Stars tournaments now give out as awards?
yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So how it works is in your pool play, the opposing managers will reward the opposing team, like an MVP medal. And then once you get into bracket play, if you finish either champion or runner-up, that's where you get your rings. So, yeah.
All right, great. Thank you.
I just have a couple quick questions and a comment. Again, very much enjoyed being out there on Friday night, the enthusiasm and of all the young ladies out there and the families and the coaches is amazing, and it's been that way for years. So kudos to you guys for the continued success.
Thank you.
One question that I have is that you mentioned how fall has continuously grown and become very, very strategically big. I believe in fall you play at Finkbeiner. Is that correct?
So we have our practices primarily at Fink, and then we have our games on Sundays at Pompey.
So with the reclamation project that's going to start coming up, that's going to be a concern, right? And I'm presuming that we're strategically trying to figure out how that's going to work.
Yeah, we've been keeping them up to date as the project's been progressing, and they know that they might have to take a fall off because there will be a huge impact to soccer with them losing Finkbeiner altogether as well, and they'll be at Pompey. So
Do we think that that would curtail growth?
It's a
Not
really
that we
good
can
question.
change it, but
You know,
it is what it is. It's
I would say, I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but I believe for spring 2024, we had approximately 430 players across all divisions. So if we go back to that number, I'm not the greatest mathematician, but I think that'd probably be like around like maybe a 20% loss, give or take or so. So I think we do have the potential to lose some momentum. And again, we're very early on in terms of trying to figure out solutions for that. I don't know if it comes in the city of Glendora or if we have to reach out potentially to San Dimas. I know they have limited field space and
that's
everything. Maybe
that was my next question is,
Yeah.
are we able to reach out to other local cities that might not have softball and have some fields? Not that fields are plenty in this world, but if they were, would they be willing to potentially allow us for a fall period to, utilize them?
Sure, and I think that's something that, I haven't reached out to any cities yet just because we're still fairly early on. And when Annie led off, the beginning of her piece with saying that the stormwater drain project got pushed back to June 2027, I gave a very big fist pump because I was very excited about that. So our fall 2026 will be intact and very happy about that, as well as our next spring season. But I think the number one concern will be cost, just because we'll have to pay for those fields as well as the lights. So we'll have to, do some digging on that and research and everything and see if it's something that we're going to be able to do. So
that kind of led me into my last question is, financially, do you have a surplus? Are you guys breaking even? Are you able to put money away at this point in time for something of this nature? Or are your costs pretty much covering your expenses?
No, I think we do. We don't have like a significant surplus, but we have enough where, we're able to cover all the expenses that I outlined earlier in the presentation. And then another consideration is we have to front the cost for a lot of our all-star tournaments. And then we end up collecting that back, because we charge like an all-star fee for the teams and everything per player. But that's a very interesting question just because I don't know how much the fields would cost. We'd have to do like a cost analysis on it and, figure it out from there. So,
if I may, so Glendora Lassie League just started in fall of 2024 doing a fall ball league. Prior to that, we held the fields back on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Lassie League would identify 8 to 10 coaches, and they would work with the city and rent out the fields individually per each coach, and they would go play in either San Dimas or Laverne's fall ball league. Those cities had issues with the fall ball league, and Glendora then proposed starting a fall ball league in 2024. And so last fall was the first time, and so we still had the Tuesday, Thursday fields available because Glendora Youth Soccer only utilizes Finkbeiner on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then they have it on Saturdays for games. And so those Tuesday, Thursdays were still available, and that was then offered to the league. And then instead of the individual coaches paying and providing their own insurance, the league, then it was their insurance, and they paid for the field and light use during that season. So this was their second full fall ball league. So I would be happy to contact Laverne and San Dimas recreation departments to see if there's any kind of partnership available. But also, at one point, they did have one, and it was challenging because everyone has a big soccer
Yeah.
league, and then everyone's competing for fields in fall.
Well, how many fields are needed? Like, how many fields do you need? I mean, would that?
At least 4.
4?
For the practice fields, honestly, that's the primary concern.
Right.
Yeah, and losing Fink, that's 4 fields essentially for us. So
Right.
that's the main consideration. So I guess to answer your question, 4 fields.
Yeah.
And the biggest impact with the stormwater drain project is that it is one of our 2 lit fields.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're losing lights. That's
Yeah, and in fall, that's primarily the time that, is needed, is in the evening time after 5 o'clock. No, it was just, it's great to see the growth, and specifically in a fall period when it is off-season technically. These sports have become more year-round than they ever have been, and to not be able to offer something, I know, would as much as we would like not to, and we might have to, but what are the alternatives, and is there any way to try and keep some semblance of a program during that time period so that it doesn't just come to a complete stop, and then we lose kids who might say, I still want to play, so I join a travel team and I go to other cities, and then next thing you know, it's like everybody else, they don't decide to come back, and then now you're reaching again to try and rebuild what we had lost. So.
Right. And honestly, if fields weren't a consideration, we did have to turn away close to 80 or so girls in fall. And if fields weren't a consideration, we were able to bring everybody in. For this past fall season, we probably been closer to like 350, honestly. So.
That's it. Great. Thank you very much. We so appreciate your time, Tim, and a lot of wealth of information. And good luck to you guys this year.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to bring upon our second guest, and that is the Glendora Pony Cult president, Miss Linda Denham.
Okay, I would love to say that I'm super happy to be here in front of you again, but as long as I've been doing what I do, this kind of setting is completely nerve-wracking to me. So you're going to have to bear with me. I followed the format from last year, but we had put in such a comprehensive report last year that I sort of did a shorthanded version this year. Our board members all remain the same, with the exception that we add a new voice this year in Michael Stoll. Michael is a former Glendora Pony League high school and college player, as well as a former pony coach, and he's currently the Glendora High School JV assistant pitching coach. He's only 24 years old, and Michael brings fresh eyes to Glendora Pony and a new point of view. Experience and consistency are the mainstay of running a good program, but having fresh input is also so invaluable, and we really count on Michael for that. League history, last year we put in a full accounting of every bit of the league history that I know. This year, what I did in the report that I gave you was a copy of our bylaws. A league is required to have their own bylaws to govern their organization consistently and fairly. Glendora Pony sends its bylaws out to every family in the league in an effort to be as transparent as possible. We encourage families to engage with questions because it gives us an opportunity to explain the whys behind the rules. Our seasonal play remains the same as last year. It begins in January with our spring preseason. It allows our new players to become accustomed to the bigger field with the help of the APU baseball players. Our spring season begins with practices in mid-February. Games begin actually this Saturday, March 21st, and we will finish with our championship game on June 6th. Of our 59 registered players, 52 are Glendora residents and 56 attend Glendora schools. Our high school Palomino Colt Summer Woodbat program begins in May and finishes in August. Our fall program with APU runs September through November. And ever since the high school began running their own fall ball program, we've suspended our fall woodbat program because it's not essential. The high school has their own program running on the field. We continue to be, first and foremost, the high school's playing field, and each year the number of games and practices increases. In the 2025 fall, 2026 spring season alone, Glendora High School has over 40 games and an equal number of practices on the field. We continue to keep our league registrations to 4 teams so that we can ensure that our own pony teams get ample practices and games, even as we partner more and more with Glendora High School. Our operating budget, you had all of those details last year. It remains basically the same. The exception is that line by line, everything costs more. Improvements, this year Glendora Pony is replacing bases and anchors, pitching rubbers, home plates, batting cage netting, and making minor fence repairs while rebuilding the pitching mound. We're anticipating a major expense this year in having to replace our field mower, which after a decade of service is showing serious signs of retirement. Charitable work, we continued 2025, marked our 14th year of hosting City of Hope blood drives and making annual donations to their pediatric ward in memory of Chris Vega. It is the continued support from the community and our league families that make these endeavors a success every year and highlight the very best of who we are, both as a league and as a community. This next section, I title In Loving Memory. This was an extremely hard year for Glendora Pony 2025. On February 15th, our coach and friend, Darren Jones, passed away very unexpectedly. Darren spent years coaching at Glendora American before joining us, but became instant family when his son, Dustin, turned pony age. In the 7 years he was with Pony, Darren was a dedicated mentor and coach and was always there to support the league with his unique ability to fix just about anything. It wasn't his ability to fix it all that made Darren invaluable. It was how he used to do it. He always said it brought out his inner farm boy, and working alongside him was an absolute joy. On December 22nd, the unthinkable happened when Cameron Surkow was killed in a car accident. It's impossible to explain how much Cameron meant to everyone who knew him. He was a player. He was my right-hand man in implementing the Skills and Drills program during COVID. He was my friend. Cameron had an absolute gift of complete genuineness. To know him, to be his friend, was to have someone on your side always. In the face of any challenge, he was always smiling, always sincere, and always courageous. Cameron found a home with the City of Glendora's Park and Rec Department. He talked often to me about how happy he was working for John and Annie. When he passed, excuse me, his family planned a small graveside service at the Memorial Park in Culver City. They imagined that very few people, aside from the immediate family, would attend. The service was only moved indoors because of the threat of rain, and they were absolutely stunned as more and more people arrived, leaving standing room only. The majority of those people were the city's Park and Rec Department, with row after row filled with his coworkers. It spoke volumes of the family that John and Annie have created, where everyone is connected and feels valued. Cameron spoke often about that, how he felt like he was an important part of something at the city, and his memorial service was beautiful proof of that. The future of Glendora Pony, I'm shifting gears now back to pony. Finally, we look forward, our new 13-year-olds show us that the future of Glendora Pony is bright. The program may be small, but with 34 former league players on Glendora High School's current baseball rosters, we believe we continue to strike the balance between being a fully committed community program where every player is welcome regardless of ability, in addition to being a competitive program that produces high school players over and over again. And I'm sorry. And that's it.
No, thank you, Linda. I know I speak to you often, and I know it's been a challenging year for the things that you've mentioned, but just the continued drive and success that you have had over the many years up there at the Pony Field is a tribute to your dedication, and dedication not only to the kids of this community, but to the community itself. And I don't think there's not a person in this town, when you speak of Glendora baseball, that your name does not get resonated to, involving what you do and how you do it, and what it leads to the young men that come out of that program, and where it leads them. So I thank you. I've known you for many, many years. You've been able to impart your care on my family. And I can only say thank you for us, but I can honestly believe that the thank you is genuine from the city and from the many families that have crossed your path up on that field. And we hope that you continue to stay there and continue to make that program what it is today and in the future. So thank you for your time tonight. Is there anything that anybody wishes to add?
See, I'm trying to run around.
Yeah.
No, doing what I do is my absolute joy, and I will keep doing it for as long as I can. Thank
We
you.
appreciate that. Thank you. That will now bring us to the consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless the commissioner has requested it to be removed for separate discussion, which it has not. Does anybody wish to pull or comment any consent calendar items? If not, then I request a motion.
I'll
I'll motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Kumnujian and a second by Louis Porcher. Can we take a vote? And the vote is passes 5-0. Okay, as we move on, I respectfully have to leave at this moment, so I'm going to turn the remaining portion of the meeting over to Mike for the co-chair, and I will say thank you and have a pleasant evening, and we'll see you guys all at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
I don't know if you want to just take this over there.
Game of musical chairs not on the agenda. All right, we're to member agenda item 5, the holiday home decorating contest revamp, and this was requested by Chair Gerber. Right now, I will invite Recreation Supervisor Alma Villasenor to report.
Good evening, Commissioners and Vice Chair. So the City of Glendora's Holiday Home Decorating Contest is an annual community event that encourages residents to decorate their homes for the winter holiday season with festive lights, animated displays, or outdoor lawn decorations. Homes are judged in various categories, and the contest has become a longstanding holiday tradition in Glendora, making its 31st annual celebration in 2025. Participants register in early December through the Recreation and Human Services Department, and the Community Services Commission holds a special meeting to judge the entries. Commissioners are transported to each participating home where they review the lights and select winners. Once judging is complete, the city provides lawn signs for the winners in each category to proudly display in their homes. Currently, we have the following categories. So it's sweepstakes, overall, commissioner's choice, and then lawn display, use of lights, and animation host a first and second place. As far as the participation, it's remained steady over the past 3 years with an average of 23 entries annually. But between all of these, about 12 to 15 participants are returners each year. Due to this, the high rate of returning participation contributes to limited annual turnover within the categories, resulting with fewer than 10 new participant opportunities each year. Returning participants often refine and expand established displays, which increases their visibility and competitive advantage over time. Because many are returning participants enter the same category annually, competition frequently occurs between the same households. This pattern may reduce opportunities for first-time entrants to earn recognition and create a perception that outcomes are predictable, potentially discouraging new participation. The recommendation is to table the item and bring it back as part of a special meeting, like workshop style, for further commission guidance.
Thank you for your report. We'll have a discussion and deliberation about the event. Would anyone like to start us off today?
Oh, wait, I think we're tabling it.
Oh,
Sorry. So this was going to be able to be discussed at the meeting tonight, but since David Gerber was the one who asked for it to be on the agenda and the fact that he had to leave for a business meeting, we felt it would be best to, you can still discuss it or have a brief conversation, but we thought it would be best to then table it and have a workshop that we've done similar in the past. We could schedule it either at the teen center or our new main office and
makes sense.
have it, discussed more in depth. But by all means, you guys can make comments on it this evening, but we would like to hold off on voting on anything or.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Until
just thought
David could be a part of
I
it.
didn't know if we needed to vote, yes, we'll go back and meet.
No, it was a last second change and the
Okay.
agenda had already been posted.
Okay.
So Lorena had advised us that we could update the PowerPoint, but it was too late to update the agenda.
Yeah, it's good for me to put it to a later time with David.
I agree. I think it's going to take a lot longer than just a meeting, like 5-10 minutes. It's going to take a lot longer, I believe. But also, obviously, the categories that Steve had mentioned, those will be included, and obviously
Or discussed.
discussed.
Discussion. All right.
Yes, so would somebody like to motion that you would like to table this item?
It has to be motion.
Yeah,
Sure, I'd like to move that we table this for a later time.
and I second.
Let me get this real quick. Sally, and then it was Brittany. Okay. Let me start the vote. So the motion carries 4-0.
All right, thank you. On to unfinished business. Selection of the award recipients for the Kirkpatrick, Dunham, and Harper Awards. I'd like to invite Administrative Assistant Megan Stone to report.
Good evening, Vice Chair and Commissioners. Tonight, I will be presenting the nominations for the Kirkpatrick, Dunham, and Harper Awards. Each year, the Recreation and Human Services Department recognizes outstanding Glendora residents for the exceptional volunteer service to the youth and senior community. The Kirkpatrick Award honors an outstanding adult who has provided extraordinary service to Glendora's youth in the area of sports. The Dunham Award recognizes an individual who has made significant contributions to Glendora youth in a non-sports capacity. The Harper Award presented to an individual who has demonstrated outstanding service to the senior population in our community. This year, we've received a total of 3 nominations, one for each category: Kirkpatrick Award, Ian Stewart; Dunham Award, Fred Rice; and Harper Award, Lori Torres. Staff recommends that the Community Services Commission review the nominations and select recipients for each award. I will now turn it over to the Vice Chair and Commissioners for discussion. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Megan. Is there anyone who'd like to add anything or make any comments?
Seeing that there's one person per award, I think that the discussion then becomes an agreement that we will go ahead and confer this is who will be nominating for each category, and then proceed with a vote. Okay?
Before we go to the vote, I just want to mention Fred Rice is such a perfect choice for the Dunham Award. I mean, people don't understand the amount of work this gentleman does. I mean, he's literally on the trails every day, and every little leaf that's out of place, he'll go and fix and twig, and he's just amazing. So it's a perfect award. I'm so happy for him.
Nice.
Ian is a great choice. Ian worked a lot in soccer. He's a great choice for that award. His passing recently was tragic, so this award is,
Posthumous.
yeah. But I'm very happy for him being recognized in his way for all he did for that league.
With that, do I have a motion to accept these nominees?
I will motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Sorry to go backwards, just a quick question. Did we want to read the statement about those individuals? I know that you both blessed us with a little bit of insight, personal insight on those two individuals, but do we want to give some time to just reading that? It's usually one of the attachments, and there's one for award nominations. And so,
Would you like to go ahead and read them?
yeah, I will, since you
that'd
talked
be
about
great.
Ian, would you like to read Ian's? And then,
I'd be happy to if I
Okay.
can figure out how to pull it up.
you want help? Okay. Aw.
Very good. Look at that.
If you use the arrow, you can go to the next application.
All right. Yes, yes, okay. Thank you for your help. All right, so this nomination is for former GYS board member who has passed. The award would be accepted by his wife, Wendy. Ian was served on the GYS board for over 5 years, and he had a passion for working to create teams that were evenly talented while creating a competitive atmosphere for kids to learn and be challenged in the sport of soccer. One of the many things he did was he was the registrar for the league, the player agent. Ian Stewart served on Ian's efforts behind the scenes made an impact on our players' experiences on the field, but the impact he made on the board members who worked with him was just as great. The first year on the board overlapped with Ian's last year on the board, and I missed him greatly. This is written by the president. Even before he was truly gone, what he taught me about being fair and focused on details to create the greatest possible outcome for our kids stuck with me. As I navigate challenges, as the current president, I try to keep him in my mind and remember we're serving a greater group of players, coaches, and families. Ian has been described by other GYS board members as a selfless leader who inspired new ideas and created opportunities for players and families beyond GYS, working to create a safe and competitive program. We continue to use the documents he created in our team formation process. They're valuable in a small way, but it also feels like he's still working with us and still inspiring us. Ian's legacy is one of determination, willingness to serve, and involving oneself in one of our city's youth sports programs to continue building on the foundations of others, to develop the best version of Glendora youth soccer for Glendora's youth, and that legacy lives on in all of us season after season. Ian's wife, Wendy, still serves as the GYS community as a coach. We are deeply appreciative of the impact of the Stewart family's made and continues to make on the Glendora soccer community.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I think the next one is Fred Rice. I'll go ahead and you would like to read the Fred Rice? Okay.
So the Buck Dunham Award is awarded to Fred Rice. Fred is a longtime and deeply committed member of the Glendora Trails Council, whose dedication and trail preservation has made a lasting impact across cities' open spaces. He's known for his hands-on leadership. Fred is continually seeking out trail work opportunities, like literally every day, often before issues become visible to most hikers. He abates weed whacking, whether he's abating weed whacking in Big Dalton, removing poisonous oak from heavily trafficked routes, and coordinating large volunteer crews. He consistently demonstrates a passion for keeping Glendora's trails safe, functional, and enjoyable. Fred also contributes his expertise by offering chainsaw safety training and certification, which I have one. I did it under his tutelage, emphasizing situational awareness and best practices for working safety around the recreation and public areas. His training provides volunteers with invaluable skills that enhance quality and safety of tread work and other maintenance tasks throughout the trail network. A significant part of Fred's service involves mentoring and guiding youth organizations, particularly Troop 730 from Diamond Bar. They completed an extensive conservation effort along Pavel, addressing 3 sections where water had begun flowing directly onto the trailhead thread. Through careful rerouting of the creek, reshaping trail approaches around natural features, and widening narrow segments, Fred and the scouts restored the trail's integrity while improving natural water flow. His troop installed underground drainage, hauled in crushed rock, cleaned natural channels, and performed end-to-end trimming. His work ensures these trails remain protected from seasonal washouts and continue to provide a safe and sustainable route for hikers. And Fred's contribution extends far beyond routine trail maintenance. At the Coulter Pine and Amphitheater Trail ahead, his leadership helped recover 170 feet of lost parking space through brush removal and fuel reduction, with additional erosion repair work planned to recover even more. His effort not only improves visitor access, but also reduces fire risk, and that's his first and foremost focus. He's played a key role in significant cleanup of the space and improved the historic cactus landscaping. Similar improvements were made in Dunn Canyon, along the Kaiser Trail, and throughout Dalton Wilderness Park, where Fred helped remove brush, tree limbs, where he removed brush, trimmed tree limbs, and restore safe parking areas. Through each project, Fred exemplifies the spirit of stewardship, mobilizing volunteers, restoring natural spaces, and ensuring that Glendora's trails remain well-maintained and welcoming for years to come.
Beautiful.
He does a fantastic job.
Thank you for that. The next one is the Ed Kirkpatrick, or actually the Ruth Harper Award, Service to the Senior Population. Lori Torres has been a volunteer at the La Fecha Center since 2022. She volunteers every Monday morning at the front reception desk, providing information and referral and excellent customer service to the La Fecha Center's participants. Lori is a volunteer for the nonprofit partners of La Fecha Center, whose aim is to support the La Fecha Center and enhance the quality of life of the adult population of Glendora and neighboring communities. Lori is currently on the Partners of La Fecha Center board, serving as the secretary. She's instrumental in record keeping and maintaining organization among the board. In volunteering both at the La Fetra Center with partners, Lori has proved to be an essential part of enriching the senior community at the La Fetra Center and beyond. She assists with activity RSVPs, phone calls, clerical work, bingo operations, and general customer service. She approaches every task with the thoughtfulness and kindness, and the La Fetra Center is proud to have Lori as one of its volunteers. That's it. So, congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone. I just think it's great that all three of these nominees touch every part of the community. And it's really like three institutions in the city that have existed for a long time. And so it's great to honor people. I can't wait to introduce myself and meet them. Does anyone want to add anything before we accepted motions to accept the nominations?
You already accepted them, so you can move on to the next one.
Perfect. All right.
Sorry. Thank you.
Did I get nervous with the gavel? We'll move on to new business, review and feedback for the updated urban forestry manual. I'd like to invite Parks and Landscape Contract Supervisor Matthew, if I mispronounced your name, I apologize, Bosfug, to report. And you can correct me on the record if you'd like.
Good evening, commissioners. Let's see, there should be a little clicker up here. Oh. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Matt Baseflug, Parks and Landscape Supervisor and City Arborist for the City of Glendora. This evening, I will present a brief overview of the Urban Forestry Manual update and discuss considerations for the tree ordinance. I'm available to answer any questions regarding the city's program and am joined by our consultant from DUDEC who can speak to the technical components of the project. At the end of the presentation, we request your feedback and direction for staff. To start, we will begin with some project background. This project included an update for both the Urban Forestry Manual and the Tree Ordinance for Glendora. These two components of the urban forestry program help balance the impacts of a growing population and increased built environment with the needs of a sustainable urban forest. Reviewing these tools ensures that policies, procedures, and ordinances support the city's goals to provide cleaner air, cleaner water, and a cooler community for future Glendora residents. The manual details the procedures used to care for city-managed trees growing in streets, parks, right-of-ways, and in city easements, and primarily serves as 1, an operational guide for city staff responsible for tree management and maintenance, 2, an educational and reference resource for residents and developers, and 3, a transparent framework for outlining how the city manages its public tree assets. I think there might be a little more. The ordinance is a regulatory tool used by the city to protect and preserve trees over time. The project required us to better understand the current conditions of the urban forest. This includes assessments of 1, the city-managed tree inventory, and 2, the city-wide canopy cover. Using the inventory analysis, we updated both the recommended and undesirable tree lists. The updated species lists consider water needs, climate adaptability, wildfire risk, spacing requirements, among other factors which help us plant trees best suited for the city. The list can also help private residents select the right tree for the right place, which contributes greatly to Glendora's urban forest. To understand if we were losing, gaining, or maintaining canopy cover over time, we assessed the amount of land covered by trees on both private and public properties. We learned that from 2018 to 2022, the city lost 0.5% of canopy cover, or approximately 33 football fields of shade, cooling, and air quality benefits. A portion of this decline comes from from a large number of trees that were removed on public land. However, these removals are only a portion of the loss, as trees removed on private property also contribute to citywide canopy cover. Various factors commonly influence trends in a city's urban forest. Glendora's recent canopy cover decline is likely due to a combination of drought stress, windstorms, necessary maintenance practices, pathogens, and development. Understanding these trends helps us identify ways to effectively manage canopy cover loss moving forward. Although Glendora's 0.5% loss is significant, the city is taking a proactive approach to regain canopy cover with renewed urban forestry efforts. These efforts include ensuring trees removed on public land are being replaced, reviewing tree preservation policies and procedures, planting trees in currently vacant sites, and identifying new areas where trees can be planted, which leads us to the Urban Forestry Manual update. All right, so the main components of the update include discussing urban forestry topics such as tree care in high fire severity zones, planting the right tree in the right place, and consideration for water use, hotter temperatures, and enhancing urban forestry resilience. We highlighted opportunities for residents to get involved, including the free street tree program for right-of-ways and easements, annual tree planting events, and tree donation or recognition programs such as for heritage and memorial trees. The updated manual aligns with the most current municipal urban forestry standards and includes illustrated guides on proper tree care practices. We also included a discussion on pruning for tree health, an important topic for Glendora. Downtown Glendora is defined by the iconic gumdrop ficus trees lining Glendora Avenue. Standard municipal urban forestry practices typically encourage pruning trees to their natural form on a 5 to 7 year cycle to support long-term health. Majority of city-managed trees are maintained under these best practices, promoting tree vitality while reducing maintenance costs and associated emissions. In order to maintain the village gumdrop trees, however, far more frequent pruning is required. They are typically pruned once to twice per year to maintain their distinctive shape. The village gumdrop trees ficus trees are a defining feature of downtown Glendora and are highly valued by the community. As these trees continue to age, thoughtful long-term planning will be necessary to address future replacement needs. The Urban Forestry Manual recognizes the importance of preserving community character while ensuring sustainability and public safety. Future decisions regarding these trees will require community engagement to help shape a shared vision for downtown Glendora. Next, we will discuss the city's tree ordinance. The ordinance is a regulatory tool that can influence canopy cover through development. The project objective was to update the ordinance to support canopy cover enhancement. However, analysis revealed a recent decline in canopy cover, and the level of community understanding is unknown. Therefore, the following slides discuss the necessary conditions prior to updating the ordinance. The existing ordinance protects trees impacted by development projects by either preserving trees with a 10-inch trunk diameter or larger, or requiring replacement trees if protected trees are removed. However, trees under 10 inches can be removed without replacement. Decreasing the protected trees definition to 6 inches will allow more trees to mature or more replacement trees to be planted on private land. The cost of the replacement trees will fall on the developer, limiting the burden to the city budget. Developing an in lieu bank account through the ordinance can specifically allocate funds to the urban forestry program. When a sufficient planting space does not exist on the development site, developers may pay the in lieu bank, which will provide the city with funds to plant trees on alternative sites within the city. The ordinance designates the Public Works Director or their city arborist to provide oversight for projects impacting protected trees through the plan review process. However, the level of involvement, timeline, and approval procedures are not designated, resulting in inconsistent oversight. Detailing these components is one method to protect more trees. Enhancing plan review requirements by adding tree removal permits, tree protection plans, and tree removal and replacement plans is another method. Codifying how arborist oversight will be implemented also ensures that replacement trees are the right tree in the right place. These ordinance updates can help the city understand the impacts of development to the urban forest for the future decision-making. Finally, the current ordinance is difficult to enforce, and penalties are rarely acted on due to their well-intentioned severity. This results in inconsistent implementation and an ineffective ordinance. The city's influence on private properties is limited, and the city can use the updated ordinance to regain canopy cover while experiencing increased development, built environment, and population. An updated ordinance will ensure enforceability and include penalties that are reasonable yet strong enough to deter violations. Issuing a stop work order or requiring more replacement trees may be effective penalties. However, ordinance updates require buy-in from internal departments and a robust community engagement process to effectively support overall city goals. To better understand the community's awareness of the current urban forest and their priorities, a community survey was developed. The online survey was distributed through the city website, social media platforms, Nextdoor, and made available in city offices open to the public. The project team also conducted in-person outreach at Glendora's Earth Day and National Night Out events to encourage participation. Survey postcards were included in the event giveaway bags, and a free tree was raffled at National Night Out as an incentive to increase engagement. The survey provided valuable early insight into community perspectives and informed recommendations for future outreach efforts. It's a little different than... So with the community survey results, 198 survey participants contributed. Out of the 198, 87% said trees significantly affect their quality of life. 8% said that trees moderately affected their quality of life, and 4% said that trees slightly affected their quality of life. 0 participants said that trees did not contribute to their quality of life. 60% of the participants think every tree should be preserved, that can be preserved through development, should be. These initial results pose the following questions. Are residents aware of the recent trend in canopy cover decline? And does urban forestry remain a priority for residents? Should there be enhanced requirements for developers to replace removed trees? How can we better balance development needs and tree preservations? The community's understanding of the recent canopy cover decline and their urban forestry priorities need to be better understood before updating the tree ordinance. Further engagement efforts will ensure that the community values are reflective of city policies, which are vital to a successful urban forestry program and effective tree ordinance. For the commission today, we request your feedback for the updated urban forestry manual and to provide direction to staff regarding continued community engagement prior to finalizing updates to the ordinance by enhancing the engagement process regarding the ordinance and working with internal departments to identify feasible opportunities to help regain lost canopy cover, and to bring to the City Council at a later date an updated tree ordinance for review, approval, and adoption. This concludes my presentation on the Urban Forestry Manual and Tree Ordinance Update projects, and we would be happy to answer any questions at this time and request the Commission's feedback.
Thank you for the presentation. I appreciate it. And I open it up for discussion and deliberations. Would anyone like to kick us off?
First of all, thank you for that beautiful, very articulate presentation. I do think that would be helpful for the community to have heard, and so I'm so glad that you're here. I think that so much happens in life, seeing maybe a survey come through, and we know surveys get brushed off often. It's very difficult to get recipients to complete them. But having this forward, having this information and how it impacts our community means something to everyone that will hear this. And so you talked about how to help our community to take this survey and also to get involved and engaged. And I can't help but to think about the two presenters that we had come in, where we have this pool of sport families that you have an audience of. And if you can partner with those presidents and having a meeting through Zoom for just that sporting community, my goodness, look how many people you could get to complete that. And then even further, if they made it part of registration requirement, just thinking outside the box in ways. But I could see how a layman could overlook the importance of completing that survey, especially if something cold falls into your inbox. What is this? So again, I just want to thank you for these insights. I'm over here thinking, oh my God, I had a tree removed. They're going to find out. So yeah, this was very helpful, and I'm walking away with a greater respect for what that looks like. And then also, last thing, I noticed some trees are so overflowing into a street where trucks going by, the tree has been chopped this way so the truck can pass. But my thought has always been, wonder why the tree wasn't just shaped away from the street, especially with the high winds and stuff.
Yeah, well, one thing the city does not have that we could use is a pruning program for smaller trees. So when the trees are, 3, 5 years old, 1 year old, however, they're still growing into their structure. So if we had a small tree pruning program, we could start creating the proper structure to trees before they get to that size, and kind of anticipate the traffic and the street clearance issues.
That was awesome. Word-wise. And then the other thing is you talked about the gumdrop trees, and I was like, oh my God. Thinking of the future? Oh no. Okay, so yes, we know the wind took down one of the trees. And Glendora jumped right into action and replaced it in such a way that I don't know that anyone is like, oh, that looks different. It happened, and the resolution swiftly came in, and it was complete. So just wanted to thank you for also making us think ahead there too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other commissioners want to? Any questions?
So this report, is this in the final stages, or it's just an update from the last time?
I would say it's close to its
Close
final
to it.
stages. Yeah.
And last was what, about 10 plus years ago, or?
Yeah, I believe 2018.
Okay.
Is that right? 2017.
2017, okay.
So yeah, getting close to 10 years.
Okay. And now, is this part of the city's master plan, or is that included in their city's? Is it the master plan?
Prior to 2019, the Parks Division was under Recreation and Human
Right.
Services. So then in 2019, it transferred over to Public Works Department. We work very closely with Matt and his crew. Obviously, trees play a vital part in our open space that we utilize and are the end user, as well as all of their maintenance on our ball fields and things like that. So there is a section of parks and facility maintenance needs in our Parks Master Plan that is actually out right now. The RFP
Right.
is published and out right now for people to.
So would this be available at Earth Day? I know it was last year, but,
I'm going to ask Kanami to come up.
All right.
She's
because that would be a great opportunity to expose it that much more.
Good evening. I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Would this report or in a presentation format be available on Earth Day? Or,
I believe that would be.
I mean, it
step.
could be. Well, I mean, I don't know if we have to get
No, not-
approval from.
no, yeah.
Is the goal,
Anyone?
Matt, is the
Well-
goal to get a higher number of
Eyeballs?
feedback
Yeah.
taking the survey?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we'd like more people taking the survey. So you're talking about just the survey.
Hi, I'm Valerie
Yes.
Velasquez Santoya, the Assistant
Hi.
Public Works Director. So we are now in the final phase of completing the, this urban forestry
Right.
manual. So we did the outreach last year. Now what you're seeing before you in this format is the finalized draft.
Right.
So right now, we're coming to you for feedback on what we've presented so far and what we collected. We are looking to do some additional community engagement as far as developing the ordinance. Then the ordinance is going to be more of regulatory for developers as they come through. But as far as the manual itself, we're looking to complete that. The plan is to get any feedback from you at this point, and then we will be taking it to the Planning Commission. From there, we'll go to City Council. Ideally, we're looking to do this next month, but Planning Commission has canceled their April meeting, so we'll be doing it in May. So I don't think we have any plans to bring this forward at Earth Day. We can certainly let people know that we have it available on our website. We can put a draft on the website if anybody wants to comment or have an opportunity to come to the Planning Commission or to City Council.
They could still take the survey, or can they
The
provide
survey
feedback?
has
Or is
been
that's
closed.
completed from last year, correct?
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
that's what I thought, okay. All right, all right.
But the city does have the questions if they'd like to re-engage folks with
Okay.
the.
I mean, maybe obviously put it out on social media and try to get more feedback. Another, I mean, I also, you had mentioned that there was 0.5% decrease in canopy.
Yes.
Is due to due to diseases or pestilence or
Yeah,
is it
stress,
pathogens?
drought,
Yeah. Is that what? Is there like a one particular?
Like,
What? No, no. Is there one particular thing that ailment that's caused, or is it just like a combination of
Yeah.
different issues?
yeah, I'd say a combination of different issues. You know, since
diseases.
I've been with Glendora for a year and a half, and I haven't seen any widespread
One particular,
pests.
right?
So, you know, over in San Dimas, they are having issues with an oak borer that's taken out a lot of their oak trees. So we are on the lookout for that. Haven't seen it yet. So I wouldn't say that pests are really a major factor. You know, they do occur. They are a factor, but not a major factor.
All right. And one other comment as well. In regards to the gumdrop trees, let's say the unforbidden happens and one just is gone. What would a replacement look like? How would that replacement look like?
A replacement could go a few different ways. So we could replace with the same species, or we could replace with a different species. Depending on the area, if we're talking about the village,
Right.
we'll
Yes.
go with a larger specimen. The one that fell on Route 66, we're probably going to replace with a different species, probably a smaller sized tree, just for cost's sake. So we do have different options.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. I need to dig into this a little deeper and study it more. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Commissioner Sal?
Thanks. Yeah, I was trying to dig into the weeds of that document, and I noticed you have there is a recommended species list, and I forgot the term for the other one.
Undesirable.
Undesirable, there we go. And I saw there were versions of oak trees on both lists. Are the oak trees that I see around town, are those, which list are those on?
Those would be on the desirable list.
Okay, so I'm wondering, during this update, did any species make the list that will now trigger significant action by the city? Meaning, we have to remove, many of this type of tree?
No. Yeah, that wouldn't happen. And even if a tree is on the undesirable list, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to remove it. It might not be as well adapted to the climate or, lack of water as some of the other species. So in the effort to have a strong urban forest, we're trying to promote trees that will be able to deal with hotter temperatures, less water, provide more canopy space. But yeah, it wouldn't come down to removing existing trees.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Thank you. A couple questions and comments for me. First of all, thank you for broaching the village tree situation and ongoing maintenance of it now. I think we all kind of saw around these streetlights how much pride there is in the existing character. And so starting this conversation now, I think, is really important, and just broaching it up that the city is thinking about what it's going to look like. Obviously, these trees were planted many, many years ago. Sometimes I see trees around the city, and I don't think the people who planted them thought the city would be here as long as you see them kind of taking up the infrastructure. So thank you for doing that. I did look through the document, and I was trying to find guidance on citrus trees. And I didn't see a ton on that in terms of desirable, undesirable, and maintenance. I'm wondering if, and maybe I missed it, and if I did, correct me, but I know there are a lot of citrus trees, and again, going back to Glendora's history, it's a big part, and so I wonder if that would be something worth looking at.
So citrus trees, unfortunately, are very susceptible to pests. And a lot of county agricultural departments have actually been forcing nurseries, cities to remove citrus trees, just because the spread of these pests are so rampant. So I think for that reason, and also the reason of fruit dropping, that they wouldn't be ideal for street trees. And street trees is what this list is based around for the most part. We do have Heritage Park, where we have our historical grove of citrus trees. And I think maybe bringing more attention to heritage, and I know we've talked about opening it up more, but I'm really happy with Heritage Park because our citrus trees there are almost disease-free. So they're healthy, they're producing lots of fruit, and they're good in good condition. But they're also kind of isolated. They're on the north side of South Hills, and there's the storm channel on the other side. So there's not a lot of interaction with those trees and the public or landscape practices. So I think kind of focusing Glendora's heritage on Heritage Park and the citrus grove there might be something that we could do along those lines.
Obviously, we see the decline, or you mentioned the decline in the canopy, and part of this is through what we can do on the public side, but also on the private side, right? There are a lot of houses, a lot of big lots, and so I'm wondering, as I look at it, what are some ways we can educate people they can get free trees? You know, we go through some of the neighborhoods, and some of them have great cover. And then there's other streets, and you can see where the houses were built 70 years ago, and the trees just haven't made it to year 71, right? They don't all make it. So I'm wondering if there's room in this document for something on, or as you move through it, how can you partner with private citizens, maybe through real estate partners when houses get sold, like, hey, you don't have a tree in the front. You can get, I believe you can get 2 free trees for your front yard. Is that true, or is it
There's
just
no
one?
exact number, but yeah, if there's space for 2 trees, we'll give someone 2 trees, definitely.
So that was the one thing that kind of jumped out, just in terms of like, can this decline be addressed just through city land, or does it need to involve some public-private partnership? And with that, also, I don't know how much you're working with, I didn't see in the document, if I missed it, again, I apologize, working with the school sites. I mean, these are probably what the largest landholder besides the city, and there is space on sites that they intend to keep and intend to maintain, and so I'm wondering if that is worth also maybe addressing in this document. Just ideas, kind of as you refine it. But those were the big ones I had, and I also had the sports council idea, just in terms of promoting it. Right? These are very involved, as we've seen, very involved parts of the city. The only other thing, and I underlined continued community engagement, because it's a theme that's coming up across. I don't know if everyone watched the previous planning committee or planning commission meeting, but they're starting the general, I think it's the Glendora 2050 general plan update. So they're going out for RFPs. And the number I heard was 20% of that budget is for engagement. And so I think it's really important for all of us, even on, I don't know how many people are watching this. Obviously, we're a little light on audience tonight, but bringing this up at the events we attend, right? Just to it's obviously a big thing that City Council wants to pursue coming out of the station vision plan, in which some community members maybe thought they didn't hear enough about it. And so that's why I think this is really important to start now. Again, even if there's only 15 of us in the room, but to mention this to our neighbors and move forward. So I don't really have anything else on it, but it was great to read. Did you have anything, Commissioner?
Just going to say, great questions, very great questions. I'm looking at the questions that you posed to us. Are residents aware of the recent trend in canopy cover decline? I think no, but I'm just one person. Does urban forestry remain a priority for residents? I think if they understand question number 1, then they can say yes, because I think we all are affected by it. And then should there be enhanced requirements for developers to replace removed trees? Maybe there should be some kind of documentation that if a developer is going to remove a tree, that it's processed in the city, like at least just noted, and that might even discourage someone from doing it or think twice about it. And then how can we better balance development needs and tree preservation? Leaving that to the experts, but going back to making the community aware, I wanted to know, did you do flyers or mailers that went out to the homes that could have the QR code on it? Because I think if it came to my mailbox, the mailbox is the new email inbox. Email inbox is now junk. Home mail is like, oh, I've got mail, So I think we need to circle back to that in-home mailing, possibly utilizing the activity guide if it's not already there. One clean space, a whole page with a QR code linking to a video that talks about what you said really will change some of our viewpoints and understanding of the importance of this.
Great ideas.
Thank you. It's very helpful.
Any other notes before we? And with that, request a motion.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, do I think?
I apologize. Over the shoulder. Yeah, thank you for your time today, and hopefully we'll see you at Earth Day in
Definitely,
April
yeah.
too.
I'll
Thank
be
you
there.
very
All right,
much.
thank
Great
you all.
job.
Appreciate it.
Great job on the report.
So we'll just motion to receive and file the report.
This is, And do I have a motion to receive and file the report?
I will motion.
And I'll second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Porche, seconded by Commissioner Sally. And the motion passes. 8, Earth Day, plan of activities. Good segue. I'd like to invite Administrative Assistant Megan Stone to report.
Thank you, Vice Chair and Commissioners. I will be discussing this year's Earth Day Festival, which the theme is Our Power, Our Planet. It will be hosted on Saturday, April 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It will be split again. It will be at the City Civic Center as well as Finkbeiner Park. Collection services will be here behind City Hall, which includes confidential document shredding, used motor oil and filter collections, beverage container recycling, and since this was done, we will also be doing e-waste collection across the street here in this little parking lot, so that's exciting. Kids' activities include, it is actually going to be an animal show, bounce house, scavenger hunt, arts and crafts, as well as Wild Man Dan, which has been very popular in the last couple of years. He brings all kinds of snakes and Annie's favorite, all kinds of reptiles. The kids love it. City departments and community partners include Public Works Water Division, the Police Department, the Library, Trails Committee, Athens, all kinds of good community partners. Glendora's Eco Tour. We will stop at Louis Pompey Memorial Sports Park, Arboretum, A-Line Rail Station, the Bougainvilleas, and Big Tree Park. And the shuttle will leave every 40 minutes from Cullen Avenue. Another great option is to head up to Big Dalton, where you can explore more. Shuttle ride up the canyon. You will do a short hike up Big Dalton Trail and discover different ecosystems, and that shuttle leaves every 35 minutes from Cullen Avenue. The workshop will be The Secret to Thriving Plants, Less Water, and Better Growth. This will be located at the Liberty House. And I am available for any questions.
Thank you. Opening up for discussion and deliberations. Would anyone like to kick us off?
A couple of years ago, there was a community bike ride as part of this day, but now that's a separate event, or is it also on Earth Day?
It's going to be a separate event. Earth Day was a little bit challenging. There's a lot of things going on, and we have to partner with the police department for everyone's safety. So instead this year, our previous director had a great idea to do a community walk. So in your Earth Day flyer mailer that will be coming out shortly, you will see a section where it's called Community Walk. They're meeting, I believe it's 10:30 behind the band shell, and they're doing a walk, and they'll be highlighting some key areas of the Finkbeiner Park area. So the bike, to answer your question regarding bike, that's going to be, I believe, May 16th on a Saturday. They're having a bike ride that will be meeting at Finkbeiner Park and be taking off on May 16th.
Very good. And then the only other suggestion I'd have for you is try to get better weather this year.
We will try.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Commissioner?
Yes, thank you. Earth Day is always fun, and I didn't see it there, but maybe it was there. Passports? Was it there? Not happening?
I do not believe passport services will be there.
What? No one wants to travel? No,
Lorena,
okay,
correct me if I'm
understand.
wrong. I don't believe city clerk. Okay. No passport services this
Well,
year.
shame for you all, because we took advantage of it, and thanks to Lorena and the team, but they came very fast. Pictures were taken, so yeah, thank you. It's good stuff.
But it's still available here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it. That's all.
No, I just want to let everybody, just let everybody know, just please come out and get the word out. It's a great time, great family time, and it won't hopefully it won't rain this year. No, it's a great time to be had by all. Thank you.
Thank you. I always love the event. It's one of my favorite of the years. Looking forward to seeing everyone out there. I'll be volunteering in the morning, I believe, with the staff. So bright and early, my coffee, and we'll be good to go. So, and with that, may I have a motion to receive and file?
I'll move to accept the report.
And may I have a second?
I'll second.
And motion passes. Member staff closing comments. Would anyone on the commission or staff like to give any closing comments before we wrap up today?
Just wanted to say that we're in the midst of one of the hottest weeks ever recorded. And so to our population that is in danger of overheating, please be careful. We know that it's intense sports season as well. And we talked about sporting in Glendora is year-round. So we want to make sure the kids stay hydrated, and to thank each of our special guest speakers today. That was very informative. Director Annie and the amazing team for putting this meeting together, and always having the agenda in advance is so helpful, and we appreciate you and your professionalism. Thank you all.
Finally. I don't really have anything specific to say, just thank you all for presenting, and guess I'm looking forward to the 35-second Easter egg hunt in 2 weeks. So see you all there.
I think it's 20 seconds. But, yeah. No, I also just want to thank all the presenters tonight, and particularly the urban update. That was great information. And I will be digging more into that. And just please go out and enjoy our city. We have wonderful staff that take well care of it. And see you all in the next meeting. Thank you.
Just want to echo that. Thank you to everyone who presented tonight and staff, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. And with that, I'll adjourn the meeting at 7:56.
Well done.